ask that you be in prayer for us as we try to talk to you just a little bit about expecting God to give us the opportunities to bring people to Him. Expecting God to provide the opportunities that we can fulfill in our lives what He sent us here to do. Do you understand this morning that everybody here, God has a plan for your life?
Amen.
He has a plan.
Yes, He does.
But we don't have to follow that plan. See, that's all up to us. He has opened the door and He has a plan. But we have to be expecting. Before God can get His blessings to us, we have to be expecting the blessings to come. Before God can fulfill in us what He has called us to do, we have to be expecting His hand to move in our lives.
Yes.
And you know, all of life is made up. It's kind of a mosaic of events and experiences, and everything that we've experienced from the time that we were born to where we're at now has helped shape and form our lives.
Yes.
And some events in our lives, you know, happen over and over and over again. They're just regular events. But there are some things that in our life that God has placed there that is so specific to that time, so specific to God's plan on getting us to where He wants us to be. We call them opportunities. But if we're not expecting those opportunities, and we all have missed some, I know I've missed some.
Yes.
If we're not expecting them, folks, we don't see them when they're there. And we hear people talk about experiencing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You ever heard of that?
Amen.
And there are some opportunities that God puts in our past that is just specific for that time, that we're never going to be there again in that same position. When you hear salesmen and politicians now talking about once-in-a-lifetime experience, best thing you can do is go on about your business. Because they're trying to get you to hurry on through where you're going to think about something. But when God presents us with those once-in-a-lifetime experiences, opportunities, it's because He's trying to get His blessings not only to us, but through us.
Amen.
So that we can be a builder in His kingdom, so that He can show us how strong He is and how much He loves us in our own lives. You know, there's an old adage that says, opportunity only knocks once. Well, God is always knocking.
Yes, He is.
You know, He's always, if you don't open the door to one opportunity, God doesn't leave you alone.
No, He
Amen.
He'll come back and knock again.
Yes, He does.
But the adage says, opportunity knocks once, but temptation keeps down the door.
That's right.
So don't get this. The devil would like to confuse you with opportunity, godly opportunities, and exciting temptations.
Amen.
But don't get confused expecting God to do something in your life. If you can see, if we're expecting, but if we're just bumming along, folks, we don't see.
That's true.
And we miss Him. But Paul was writing to the Galatians in the 6th chapter. In the 9th verse, he said this: "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap." Do you see that? He didn't say in due season we might reap.
Yes.
He said we shall reap
Amen.
if we faint not.
Yes.
As we have therefore opportunity, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them who are of the household of faith. If we're going to reap the full harvest of God's blessing, we must train ourselves, folks, to expect and to receive the opportunities that He gives us, to where we can share His goodness. Paul said, don't be weary. In other words, don't lose heart
Amen.
in well-doing. to make a difference in the kingdom of God.
Amen.
We've got to be expecting to make a difference. God called us to be difference makers. Difference makers. How easy it is, though, folks, when everything is not going just right in our life, just to stop trying to make a difference in other people's lives. Do you know your greatest blessing comes when you go ahead and do what you know God wanted you to do when you don't feel like it?
Yes.
Our greatest blessings comes to us when everything in the flesh says, why don't you just let that go? And we say, because God said so. And do it anyway. But it's so easy when we are in that circumstance, it makes, we get to feeling like, well, somebody ought to bless me because I done got pitiful. And it's so easy to get into that, you know, and then we're just sitting there waiting for somebody to do something for us instead of being about what the Father called us to do. Look, when I don't let the devil hinder, and I put it on this personal thing, when I don't let the devil hinder me, then I have found out something. It don't make any difference how bad I felt when I started. If I go ahead and start, God will come right along and He'll start strengthening and lifting.
Yes, He will.
Folks, and after a while, you know, I came down here. I came here and taught when I didn't feel like coming. Some of you showed up here when you didn't feel like coming too. When the flesh didn't feel like coming. And I told Alice, you know, about 5 minutes into the teaching, I forgot that I felt bad. Because that's the way God operates when you just do what He's told you to do, regardless of the circumstance. But see, we live in this generation and that spirit of, that's all about me. It's all about mine. It's all about what I can get. It's strong.
Hallelujah.
And even the children of God has to fight that because we live in that atmosphere. But when we make it all about Him instead of all about us, folks, the blessings of God finds us.
Amen.
You know, the world operates on this supply and demand thing. You know, if you're demanding a service and I've got the supply, that's the way it works. But in God's program, folks, it's just supply and supply. It's just a circle of supply. As He supplies our need, and we supply what we can do, what He's called us to do to others. Folks, the supply never ends. It's a circle of supply. And He's more than enough. How many knows this morning that God is not just enough, but more than enough? Sometimes, and you know, the devil will get us thinking like that when the body is under attack. You know, it's not a problem to believe in healing when I've got a headache. But you hear the word like cancer and it scares us. I can take an aspirin for a headache. That's not got anything to do with faith. But see, when things attack us that is bad, sometimes we forget how big God is. And we just sit down and accept whatever the devil has put on us. Now, from the time Nate got under this attack, I have heard him say 100 times, I'm healed.
That's right.
It still hadn't manifest. But you know what? He's still saying, I'm healed. Because he's still walking on that promise that healing was his from Calvary. See, let us know this. And we get a little off on expecting the opportunities, but let us know this. God has already set your blessing and your destiny in motion. From Calvary. We're not having to beg Him for what He's already given us. We have to battle our way into it, expecting Him to, folks, honor the word that He said, and He will. And He will. And sometimes, though, when the old flesh is hurting, we lose sight of the real message. Just keep walking in the obedience. God will supply.
Yes, He will.
Amen.
Just keep walking in the
Amen.
See, this thing is not about how we feel, but it's about what God said. And I know there's times, in this body that we can't do what we used to do in this body. But you know what, folks? All of us can do something.
Amen.
That's true.
All of us can do something.
Yes.
If it's nothing but when we wake up at night, think about other people's problems and pray for that.
That's right.
Amen.
Stand in faith with your brothers and sisters for that. Now we see in Luke 21, I believe it is, I got my notes wrote down. Luke 21, we see a little widow woman come into the synagogue, in the temple there, to the temple.
Amen.
And Jesus said, and he looked up, talking about Christ, and saw the rich man casting their gifts into the treasury. And he saw also a certain poor widow cast in thither 2 mites. And he said, of a truth I say unto you, that this poor widow hath cast in more than they all.
Amen.
Amen.
For all these have of their abundance cast in an offering of God, but she of her perjury hath cast in all the living that she has.
Amen.
You see that?
Yes.
Yes, amen.
She didn't come, folks, well supplied. She didn't come able to do a lot if we looked at it in the physical. But the rich man had put in their gifts. It had hurt them a bit. They were still rich.
Amen.
It hadn't bothered their abundance. The widow, if we're looking at it in the natural, well, that's not much. But Jesus said she just did more than all of them did.
Amen.
Because they were putting it in because it was the thing to do. She was putting it in because she trusted God in what He said.
Amen.
See?
Yes.
She was moving in faith and in trust in Him. Sometimes, folks, it takes the bad times to get God's people to wake up and trust in Him.
Yes. Amen.
That's what makes people think God puts us in the bad times. No, He don't.
No.
He blesses us in the good times.
Yes,
If we walk in the good time, just walk in obedience in the good time. But the bad sometimes, folks, when we get so blessed that we forget where the blessings come from.
Amen.
And then when the hard times begins to settle in, we remember and we turn back to Him and cry out to Him. And we find He's still there.
Yes, He is. Yes.
Still there. But sometimes can I just talk about myself? I found out just in me, when things are going, as we say, south, when it looks like nothing is working, I can find time to pray. When it looks like, tomorrow's going to be worse than today, I can get in my book and find promises. But when everything's working, if I'm not real careful, I'll let the things of God slip. I'll get this place.